the stealth killer. The radar crews outside Puerto Cabello called it El Dragón Invisible, the Invisible Dragon. 9 towering JY-27A arrays stood across Venezuela's northern coast, their VHF blades sweeping the Caribbean sky. Beijing brochures called them stealth killers. State television called them the Chinese Aegis. Officers from Caracas called them the shield that would make Venezuela untouchable. They were wrong. At 02:03 local time on January 3, 2026, the sky went quiet. No warning tones, no rising threat indicators, no flashing red tracks across green phosphor screens, just silence. Lieutenant Carlos Paredes leaned toward his console. Radar 1, confirm sweep integrity. Nominal sweep, came the reply. No contacts. That should have been comforting. Instead, it felt like standing on a beach while the tide pulled back too far. They were already there. 152 aircraft crossed into Venezuelan airspace at the same moment. F-22 Raptors rode at 60,000 feet. F-35 Lightning IIs ghosted through cloud layers. B-1B Lancers streaked in low and fast. Growlers blanketed the spectrum. MQ-9 Reapers loitered at the edges, feeding everything into the network. They were invisible by design, but they were not silent. The Growlers opened first. White noise slammed into the electromagnetic spectrum like a hurricane. False returns bloomed across every Chinese radar band. Phantom fleets appeared. Ghost squadrons swarmed imaginary corridors. Venezuelan operators watched their screens dissolve into chaos. Paredes shouted, "Filter the noise! Burn through!" They did. The moment they did, the Americans locked them. Dead radar. 2 AGM-88 harms screamed down from the dark. They hit the Puerto Cabello JY-27A array dead center. The radar tower collapsed in on itself, folding like broken scaffolding. Power stations detonated in fireballs, fiber lines snapped, antennas fell into smoking steel skeletons. Within 3 minutes, 6 more sites went dark. Within 10, the entire Chinese Aegis network stopped talking to itself. No tracks, no target vectors, no engagement cues. Every FK-3 missile battery waited for fire-control data that never arrived. Every SR-5 rocket launcher stared at empty sky. Every VN-16 amphibious assault vehicle idled on beaches with nowhere to aim. The network had collapsed. They never saw a single plane. Inside the main operations bunker near La Guaira, Colonel Esteban Marquez whispered something no officer was trained to say. "They're here!" He said it again, louder. "They're here!" Screens showed nothing, but outside, the night sky flashed white. JDAMs began to fall. The Great Abandonment. VN-18 amphibious IFVs stood frozen along the coastal highway, their crews already gone. Doors hung open. Radios were ripped from dashboards. Boots and helmets littered the pavement. K-8W attack jets never left their shelters. C-802A anti-ship missiles remained sealed in their launch tubes, while American destroyers loitered just beyond the horizon, untouched. FK-3 missile crews waited. Then they waited longer. Then they left. By sunrise, the most advanced Chinese-equipped force in South America had ceased to exist as a functioning military formation. Not destroyed. Disconnected. The after-action report. Washington's internal brief used careful language. Complete command and control failure across Chinese-supplied integrated air defense networks. Analysts were blunter. Their radars can see ghosts. Their missiles can't see targets. Their networks collapse under real electronic warfare. In Beijing, the word Venezuela vanished from military media overnight. Inside Chinese social platforms, the mockery exploded. Stealth killer detected 0 stealth aircraft. Strongest radar in South America became scrap iron, made in China, used in combat. The strategic shock wave. Across Asia, procurement ministries quietly froze contracts. Pakistan, Egypt, Myanmar, Bangladesh, Algeria all asked the same question. What did we actually buy? And in Taipei, defense planners stared at satellite photos of burned radar fields on the other side of the world and felt something shift in the balance of power. If Chinese systems collapsed under American electronic warfare in the Caribbean, what would happen 100 miles off Fujian? The final line. They called it the stealth killer. On January 3, 2026, it killed nothing. No detections, no launches, no sorties, no defense. only the sound of empty radar rooms and abandoned armored vehicles under a rising Caribbean sun. Somewhere in Beijing, someone was explaining how $500 million of world-class defense technology became a global cautionary tale. The answer was simple. They built weapons to win contracts. They forgot to build them to win wars. Thanks for watching.